According to IRRODL.org, states the Council of Writing Program Administrators' definition of plagiarism reveals several contingencies which complicate the enforcement of academic integrity in higher education, particularly in regards to adult education. I noticed that people plagiarize in academic sources much more than I do in the pulpit. I've been to churches after churches. I've never heard a single person cite any sermon, so I've never noticed it in the pulpits before. But as I was researching pulpit plagiarism, I noticed that they had many things in common. I could not find an exact definition, but I did find the common factor, which was the sermons, people stealing sermons. So, with that, I looked up what sermon means. And on Google, sermon means a talk on religious or moral subjects, especially are given during a church service and based on a passage from the Bible. So, when I was looking up sermons and I was thinking of plagiarism, because everybody knows what plagiarism is, they're stealing somebody's works. And in academics, it's easy to copy and paste, and you can tell when somebody steals that work. But in the pulpit, it's really hard to tell because like I said, I've never heard a single person cite a sermon. So, with this, to me, it means that people are stealing the sermons and passing them off as their own experience or passing them off on their own sermons. And on Sermon Central, there was 3 issues that was thought of when the plagiarism in the pulpit. And it is the plagiarism in the pulpit. They are conscience, diligence, and trust. And then it asks 3 different questions. It asks, am I guarding my own conscience in my sermon, preparation, and delivery? Am I faithfully studying the word that I am preaching? And how can a broken relationship proceed with broken trust? And to me, it really made me think about, sorry, I'm going super slow, I'm not good with videos, I've already done this 3 million times, but it really got me thinking these 3 questions. When you are writing a sermon, are you asking yourself if you are guarding your conscience? Like if you don't have a guilty conscience for stealing anything, whether it be someone's sermon, how can you say that you're a man of God? Honestly, because stealing is a no-no in God's eyes. That's one sin that's bad. I mean, all sins are bad. Even lying is bad. But stealing, if you don't just say so-and-so did this, I mean, I honestly don't see the point of doing pulpit stealing, because honestly, why can't you just tell people that I got this from so-and-so? And that is just crazy. So I honestly don't see the purpose in plagiarizing on the pulpit. Also, Christian Today says, to a certain degree, all of us preach others people's stuff. After all, as Solomon once said, there's not much new under the sun. Also on Christian Today, it says, there is a danger, however, in taking someone else's first personal experience and telling it as your own. Which, yes, that is dangerous, because I don't see a point in why people would take something and say it's their own. And I'm not one to believe in plagiarism, because I think that, like it said, that there's not much new under the sun. I mean, what can you preach about in the Bible? Like, there's always, if you ask God, God will answer. And if you read the Bible and ask God to give you something new, He will. I mean, most people I notice stop asking God. They take it on their own due diligence and want something out of it. Like Joel Osteen, for instance, wants money. Otherwise, his bank account wouldn't be that big. So to me, that it just doesn't make sense. But also on Sermon Central, it says we can use someone's sermon, but we must tell of the source that preachers have done so over 100 of years, which means preachers really do use other people's sermons, but they don't plagiarize because they tell people where they came from. There was multiple things on Sermon Central that I noticed that people did, and I just didn't know that sermons really had plagiarism potential, because it's just talking about God, honestly, and people's experiences. I didn't know that we had to say that we got it from a certain someone. And so on journaligcar.org, it states, carelessly or inadequately citing ideas and words borrowed from another source to earn academic grades, promotions, and degrees. That to me says that in academics, that people are just trying to get grades and trying to get through school by just being lazy and not citing the work or just not researching. That's what I noticed. People have, when you get older, people go to school, people go have jobs, and just a lot more harder. It's a lot, sorry, I'm really sorry. It's a lot more harder as a child than it is when you're older, because when you're a child, you're not taught to cite. I know I remember elementary school pretty well, and I was never taught to cite references. Maybe if we taught people when they're younger, then maybe they would know when they get older, because I still have a lot of the same mannerisms and just a lot of the same little things as a kid as I did as a big person. A big kid now, but like laziness. I was lazy as a kid and I'm lazy now just because I never could outgrow it. I want to. I pray to God all the time to outgrow my laziness, but it just doesn't work sometimes. And I really do not believe that pulpit plagiarism and academic plagiarism are the same, because of the academics is just to get through school and to get by, and you're not really, and it's all pretty much, you can Google anything and get information about anything, and I just don't believe that it's the same thing, because pulpit plagiarism, as I've learned, is more or less about stealing someone's life and stealing someone's knowledge are two different, totally opposite things. And so I don't think that it's the same. But in order for people to not steal the pulpit plagiarism, would be stay busy. I would suggest to stay busy and really learn life lessons. And if we learn life lessons, then we have more to talk about and make it more of our own. And if you see Stephen, for example, changing his life over to God because he was in jail or something, then you say, I saw Stephen going through this, and so this is the lesson. Don't take it for your own. I mean, that anything that you take that doesn't belong to you is stealing, but common knowledge in academics is so different because it's just common. You can find it anywhere. You can't find everybody's life everywhere, except for those reality TV shows. So I would just suggest living and teaching it to young people when they're younger, because everybody knows the mind of a child is so much more like a sponge than a mind of a 20 or 30-year-old, because I know my brain is gone. But thank you, and sorry I was really bad at this. I'm really bad at talking to people and don't really know what to say or how to say it. I've written stuff down and it just doesn't come out right, so I apologize. And sorry my video is so long. God bless.